You were not born to just survive. You were designed with intention, built with a purpose that exceeds the limits others have tried to place on you. Survival is the bare minimum existing from day to day, trapped in routine, reacting to life instead of creating it. But deep within you, there's a voice that keeps whispering that you were made for more. That voice grows louder every time you get knocked down and refuse to stay there. Every time life tries to bury you under weight you weren't supposed to carry, and you still choose to rise, that voice grows stronger. You weren't built to quit. You weren't shaped by ease. You were forged in the fire of adversity. And that makes you dangerous to everything that tries to hold you back. Asterisk, there comes a moment in every life when you're confronted with the truth. This world won't hand you your dreams. You have to fight for them. Not just with talent, not just with hard work, but with a relentless belief that no matter how many times you fall, you will rise one more time. That's where real power begins. Not in never falling, but in learning how to rise with purpose every single time. You can't be soft and make it to greatness. You can't be comfortable and expect transformation. Growth demands pressure. It demands challenge. It demands that you face everything trying to break you and say, "Not today, I've come too far to fold." Asterisk, people might look at you and see the surface. They don't know your scars. They don't know the battles you've fought silently. They don't know the nights you cried in silence or the mornings you had to drag yourself out of bed when your soul felt heavy. But you're still here. That alone is proof of your strength. The fact that you're breathing, standing, moving forward, it means there's still more left for you. You have unfinished business. You have territory yet to claim. You have impact yet to make. Your journey is far from over, and the best chapters haven't even been written. Asterisk, the path to becoming who you were created to be won't be paved in gold. It'll be layered with rejection, setbacks, doubt, and failure. But each of those is not an end. They are teachers. They refine you. They strip away the ego, the illusion, the fear, and reveal what's real. That's the secret no one tells you. The pain was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to activate you, to wake you up, to call you higher. Every time you wanted to quit but didn't, you were growing roots. Every time you were overlooked, you were being prepared. Every no was a redirection, not a rejection. And when the time is right, all those moments will align and create something unstoppable. Asterisk, so stop asking for easy. Stop praying for the storm to pass. Start asking for the strength to dance in the rain, to move forward despite the chaos, to build when nothing around you supports the vision. That's what winners do. They create when there's nothing but broken pieces. They lead when everyone else is too afraid. They keep showing up when it doesn't make sense because their purpose is louder than their pain, because their calling is bigger than their excuses, and because they know that what's on the other side of discipline is freedom. Asterisk, every single day is a new opportunity, a chance to outwork who you were yesterday, a moment to take ownership of your mind, your body, your decisions. Discipline isn't punishment, it's permission. Permission to go further. Permission to dig deeper. Permission to become the version of yourself that's been hidden behind fear, behind excuses, behind comfort. The real you isn't weak. The real you isn't confused. The real you is waiting for you to decide that enough is enough. That average isn't acceptable. That just getting by is no longer an option. Asterisk, there's power in presence. Power in showing up fully even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when the outcome is uncertain. Because momentum doesn't start with massive action. It starts with consistency. Small, daily decisions that align with your vision. You don't need to take the biggest leap today, you just need to take the next right step, and then another, and another. That's how you change your life. One deliberate step at a time. Asterisk, there are people counting on you who you haven't even met yet. There are lives waiting to be touched by your courage, your resilience, your refusal to give up. Your example will become their permission. Your healing will unlock theirs. Your victory will become their blueprint. But none of that happens if you choose comfort. None of that unfolds if you keep playing small. It's time to step up. Not because it's easy. Not because you feel ready. But because you've already been equipped with everything you need, you just have to activate it. Asterisk, your greatness is not a future destination, it's a present decision. You become it when you decide to. When you stop waiting to feel motivated and start becoming disciplined. When you stop seeking validation and start honoring your truth. When you stop settling for a life that's good enough and start pursuing the one that sets your soul on fire, that decision, that's yours. And no one can make it for you. Asterisk. Most people never realize their potential because they treat their dreams like hobbies. They want results without effort, applause without sacrifice, and growth without pain. But success doesn't come to the person who simply wants it, it comes to the one who refuses to live without it. That means doing the work no one sees. That means staying late, rising early, showing up tired, and still giving everything. That means fighting for your future like your life depends on it, because it does. Not in the literal sense, but in the sense that if you settle, if you coast, if you stop, a part of you dies. That part of you that believed you could change the world, create something extraordinary, and rise above average. Asterisk, relentless pursuit doesn't require perfection. It demands consistency. It requires you to move even when your legs are shaking and your spirit is low. It means pushing forward even when results are delayed, when the path is lonely, and when your faith is tested. It's easy to believe when everyone's cheering. It's easy to chase goals when you feel strong. But what about the days when no one's watching? When the mirror reflects doubt instead of confidence? That's when the real ones are revealed. That's when your will is forged in the fires of adversity. No applause, no spotlight, just you. Your grind, and the decision to keep going. Asterisk, in this pursuit, excuses have no seat at the table. Excuses are the language of people who've made peace with mediocrity. Every time you justify why you can't, you bury the power of why you must. Yes, life will throw obstacles. You will be rejected. You will fail. You will stumble. That's not a possibility, it's a guarantee. But relentless people don't bow to resistance, they rise above it. They don't cry over closed doors, they knock louder or build their own. They don't seek comfort, they seek growth, and growth is born in discomfort. Asterisk, you can't wait for the perfect moment. You have to act with what you have, where you are, and trust that movement creates momentum. Too many people delay progress by waiting for clarity. Clarity often comes from motion, not from standing still. You can't steer a parked car. Once you start moving, even if the direction isn't perfect, you learn, you adjust, you adapt, but you have to get moving. Procrastination is the assassin of greatness. It kills more dreams than failure ever could. The ones who make it are the ones who start and keep starting, even after falling. Asterisk, chasing your dream relentlessly means letting go of the approval of others. You can't live for likes, validation, or opinions that don't pay your bills. Nah. Everyone will understand your vision, and that's okay. It wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Your job isn't to explain it, your job is to build it. So when people doubt you, use that as fuel. When they laugh, keep grinding. When they leave, keep building. Loyalty to your purpose must be stronger than your need for acceptance. Asterisk, this pursuit will cost you. It will cost you comfort, sleep, sometimes relationships, sometimes even your own ego. But what you gain in return is unshakable resilience, undeniable growth, and a legacy that outlives you. You become a force. Not because it was easy, but because you endured. You refused to quit. You refused to settle. You kept your eyes on the goal when distractions begged for your attention. You held the vision close when doubt whispered in your ear. And even when the world said it was impossible, you chose to believe anyway. Asterisk, relentless pursuit is a decision you make every single day. It's not a one-time declaration, it's a lifestyle built on discipline, sacrifice, and intention. Every action either feeds your future or delays it. Every choice takes you closer to the vision or further away. There is no neutral ground. So ask yourself, how bad do you want it? Are you willing to fight for it? Will you keep going when it's hard, when it hurts, when it looks like nothing's working? That's the difference between those who dream and those who do. Asterisk. Chasing something relentlessly requires you to become someone new. The old version of you won't survive the climb. You'll have to shed habits, silence distractions, break patterns, and upgrade your mindset. The journey will stretch you. It will demand more than you think you have. But that's where transformation happens. That's where the average stops and the extraordinary begins. The relentless understand this. They don't fear change. They embrace it. They use it. They let it refine them into the kind of person who can hold the success they're pursuing. Asterisk, you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out, to build, to create, to lead, to disrupt the ordinary and show what's possible when passion meets discipline. But none of that comes by accident, it comes by decision. A decision to chase the goal until it's yours, not halfway. Not kinda, not someday, now, every day. Without pause, without permission, without apology. That's what relentless looks like. That's what unstoppable feels like. That's the kind of energy that moves mountains, changes lives, and turns a dream into reality. Asterisk. You don't need permission to be great. That fire inside of you, that pull toward something greater, that dream that won't leave you alone, that wasn't placed in you by accident. You were born with it. You were born with a call, with a mission, with a deep internal whisper that keeps saying, there's more. But somewhere along the way, the world tried to silence it. Teachers, friends, coworkers, even family, people with their own broken dreams and shattered ambitions, tried to tell you what was possible for you based on their experiences. They tried to place a ceiling over your potential because they never reached for theirs. Asterisk, and for a while, maybe you listened. Maybe you started to believe them. Maybe you played small. Maybe you told yourself, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should just be realistic. But that's not your truth. That's fear dressed up as logic. You weren't born to blend. And you weren't created to sit on the sidelines while life passes you by. There is no committee, no authority, no gatekeeper that gets to approve your potential. Greatness doesn't come to the most talented, the most connected, or the most lucky. Greatness bows to the most committed. Asterisk, the truth is, no one's coming to hand you your dream. There's no magical day where the stars will align and everything will be perfect. There's no applause waiting for you before you start. In fact, most of the time, the people around you won't understand what you're doing. They'll question your moves. They'll doubt your decisions. They'll project their fear onto your vision. And that's okay, because it's not their vision, it's yours. Asterisk, you don't need their permission to begin. You don't need their approval to believe. You don't need their support to keep going. Every step you take without their understanding is a step closer to becoming who you were born to be. The longer you wait for others to get it, the longer you delay your calling. Stop asking people who've never built anything for advice on how to construct your destiny. Asterisk, there is a boldness required to rise. A conviction that says, even if no one sees it yet, I see it. A relentless inner drive that doesn't waver in the face of silence. Because greatness often starts in obscurity, in the quiet. In the moments when no one is clapping, no one is watching, and you have every reason to quit, but you keep going. That's where the foundation is laid. That's where champions are born, not in front of a crowd, but in the unseen hours. In the grind. In the process. Asterisk, you see, every time you choose to believe in your purpose over your fear, you cast a vote for the person you're becoming. Every time you show up when it's hard, when it's lonely, when it's uncertain, you are chiseling the version of yourself the world is waiting to see. And the more you do it, the less you care about the noise. The less you care about being liked, the less you care about fitting in. Because you weren't designed to fit in. You were designed to rise above. Asterisk, so stop waiting. Stop shrinking. Stop waiting for the timing to be right or the people around you to finally understand. You've waited long enough. You've doubted long enough. There's a version of you that exists on the other side of permission, bold, free, and unstoppable. That version of you doesn't beg for validation. That version of you decides to build, decides to move, decides to rise, no matter what. Asterisk, because the moment you decide, the moment you commit without compromise, something shifts. You start seeing differently. You start acting differently. The energy changes. You walk in rooms differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself like someone who knows who they are. Not because the world said so, but because you chose to believe before it made sense to anyone else. Asterisk, greatness is not about waiting for the green light. It's about becoming the green light. It's about moving in faith, not in confirmation. Because every great thing you're called to do will require you to leap before you're ready, to move before you're certain, to walk before you know what's on the other side. That's where faith is born. That's where courage lives. Asterisk, and when the obstacles come, and they will, when the critics get louder, when the doubt creeps back in, you'll have to remind yourself again, you didn't come this far to ask for permission. You came to take your place. You came to own your assignment. You came to make impact, not excuses. The only thing that separates the people who live their dream from the ones who die with it still inside of them is the decision to act, without waiting for approval. Every step forward. Every uncomfortable decision, every time you silence your inner critic and take action, you are proving to yourself that you were made for this, that your voice matters, that your work matters, that your life matters. Not because someone else said so, but because you chose to believe it when it was still invisible. It's time to stop explaining your dream to people who aren't even chasing theirs. Stop shrinking to fit into conversations that are too small for your vision. Stop waiting for someone to say you're ready. You're ready the moment you decide you are. Every legend, every leader, every world changer had a moment where they stopped waiting and started walking. You're standing at that moment right now. And the truth is, the greatest gift you can give to the world is the fullest version of yourself, unapologetic, unshaken, unstoppable, not perfect, not flawless, but fully alive, fully in motion, fully walking in the direction of what you know you were born to do. So forget permission. Take ownership, move with intention. Act with courage, speak with authority, build with fire. You've already got everything you need. The question is, will you step into it, or will you keep waiting for someone to tell you it's okay? Because deep down, you already know it's always been up to you.